So Vox Media created a performance team about a year ago.
Right.
What inspired the creation of that team?
So this is the one question I had to ask someone else. Why? Because I was hired as the start of the performance team. But starting with the deploy of the Verge in about 2011, every single site was just launched right one after another. So the team was constantly building new things and obviously creating a lot of crodecraft in the meantime. So there was no one to go back and genderize or fix all the issues that were coming up. And they realized about 2014 that they had a large amount of code debt that needed addressing, and a lot of things needed to be reviewed. And in 2015, they started hiring for the performance team. And what they did is they hired me as an external person, and Jason Ormond as an internal person that they brought into the team to start kicking off the really looking hard at performance.
I see.
Yeah.
And what were the first problems you decided to tackle?
So the first thing, and literally the very first meeting we had as a performance team, was how to test. How to make sure that when we are actually making changes, that we know that they are working or that they aren't. Which is a problem we haven't even solved a year and a half later. We're still always altering and changing how we're doing that. After that, the two things that we hit the first as far as changes were Jason took up images and made images much faster and much more efficient. And that was mostly moving to WebP and things like that, and optimizing how we're using our lazy loading and some other things. But since all of our sites are very image heavy, it was obviously a really, really big fix and change. I took up web fonts because they were being used in many different ways and no standardized way. And made a lot of improvements, especially on curbed Vox.com and Eater with how we're loading up our web fonts in those sites to make them a lot more efficient.
What were some of the challenges that you faced?
The biggest challenge for me is the realization everything is a lot slower at scale, at least organizational scale. Any change I want to make to ads or to fonts or to even images involve us talking with editorial, involve us making sure that they are well aware of what's going on. We need to talk with the design team. We need to make sure we talk with front-end developers, back-end developers, ops, and we really do have to, for a lot of our choices and decisions that we're making, it involves everyone at the organization. Right now I've been working hard at moving our sites to HPS. And doing that literally involves every single team at Vox Media, from editorial all the way back down to ops.
So performance first.
Performance first.
And being involved in the early stages of any product discussion?
Yes.
Wonderful. What are some exciting trends you're seeing in WebPerf these days, and what projects in particular are you interested in?
So, coming from a media company, one of the things I'm most excited about is the content security policy, and being able to limit iframes, limit third-party embeds to what they can do. So, say, only limit them to be able to take so many seconds to load, or a bunch of other variables that we could limit to make sure that there isn't a bad ad that ruins our site, or any sort of analytics data that we need as a business, but can't necessarily block in the browser right now dynamically, depending on how the load is taking.
I see. Final question. Do you have any advice for somebody who is just hired to do performance?
Yeah, so the two things that Vox did that I think are smartest is, one, they hired someone from the outside as an expert view to question all the decisions that have been made up to that point, as well as hiring an internal person who knew the entire lay of the land.
I see.
So they could very easily, Jason and I bounce off each other of, where are these things, why is this happening, and can we change it? And it's a great dynamic to make sure that they're not changing too much, but also know why things are happening.
I see. And creative tension.
Yes. Although we work very well together. I have to specify that. But also really do it, hire someone, and have a team that is directly responsible for it.
I see.
Because then, give them that power to make the change. Just going out and doing it is a big step that shows a company culture is really behind this.
I see. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.